Hello class. Today we're going to be putting the data that we got from our frequencies video into an APA formatted table on Microsoft Word. So if you're using the VLab on your home computer, it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to have to use that method because that's what I'm using. If you're using the school computer, you need to take these tables and copy. Just right click on the table, copy, and then paste them into a Word document. So everyone should have a Word document opened. It won't work for the limited version, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to work with some minimized screens here. So if you have the online version, you're gonna have to bear with me on here. You're gonna be kind of with me on this one. So you're gonna start with your numbers here. So let's start by creating a table. So we have two continuous variables. So number of rock and roll albums owned and time spent listening to music each week. And then you have a categorical variable with three categories. So this in itself is going to be one row here, two rows, and then you're going to have five for this one. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, plus your titles. So you're going to have 7 in total. So you're going to have a table that's 7 down. And if you're not sure, you can make a table and always add rows and columns in later. So you go to Insert on your Microsoft Word. I have 2016 for my Mac, so it may be a little different looking than yours. Insert Table. And you're going to go 7 down and 4 over because you want to give the reader 4 things to fit in with APA. You need the variable name, so you're going to put the title of it as variable. You need the population or sample size and percentage. You need the mean, and you need the standard deviation. So that's 4 pieces of information wide. So you just click here, and it'll create your table. So like I said, you need, first things first, let's keep it 12-point format, variable. I personally prefer to work with Times New Roman. Say variable here. Then you have your N. It's also a thing I should note that everything needs to stay at 12 point. Your N is going to be italicized, N. And Microsoft Word is going to try to put that into a capital letter. Just change it, undo automatic capitalization, or just delete it and make it small again. So it needs to look exactly like this. Alright, and our next one's going to be mean. And then standard deviation. So this is what it should look like at the end. So now you got to put in your variables here. So what's the name of our variables? We have a number of rock and roll albums owned. So let's change this to put everything to one side. So number of rock albums owned. You can make these all capitalized. It makes it look nicer. It's just personal preference, but you're eventually going to have to do it anyway for APA. Here's hours spent listening to music. And here's age, 3 categories. And you're going to put right here what those categories are. So for the first one, we have our category under 35. Then you have the category 36 to 50. And then you have 51 and over. So you're going to highlight these. So just start up here, click and drag, highlight all of these right here, and just take this little guy and move him over to the halfway between 1 and 0 marks. About 0.5 indentation is what it's going to look like. So it should look like this. So again, highlight these. Let's move them back to normal. So highlight all 3 of them so they move together. Grab this guy up here, move him to 0.5. All right, so now you want to give the sample size for these. So we have to go back to our output for this. So let's look at our sample sizes. So we look here. This is the area we're going to be looking at. So right in here, 12 and 12, and the third one over here. So you're just going to focus on the quantitative variables for now. So 12 and 12 is going to be our N for these. Then your means for each. So our mean for time spent listening to music is right here. If you look over here, to tell you mean 25.1667. So you want to make it to the 100th place. So 16.17. So 25.17 for listening to music. And then right here, your mean for rock and roll albums owned would be 17.67. Again, the mean's right here. You just follow it over. 17.67. All right, the standard deviation for rock and roll albums owned is 14.27. And the standard deviation for time spent listening to music is 14.94. You're rounding up from 9.93 to 0.94. So 15.94. So this is your value should look like for your quantitative variables. Now you don't give a mean for your categorical variables because it doesn't mean a whole lot. When you have three categories of something, having a mean of 1.79 doesn't really tell you anything about those three categories. So we're going to go instead and say how many people within our sample were in each of those categories. So that you have to go down to the full frequency table for that categorical variable, which is age in three categories. And you're only going to use frequencies and percents. So for 1 under 35, we have how many people? 3, 3, and 6, respectively. So under 35, 3, 36 to 53, and 36 and 50 and 1 and over would be 6. So 3, 3, 6. Again, no means, no standard deviations. But now we should put our percentages here, following with this format. So 25%, 25%, and 50% respectively. So that would be under here under the percent. And we got our numbers from our frequencies, the frequency of individuals in one of these categories. So we have 25% here, from here, 25% in our next one, and 50% in our last one. You do not need totals for this. That's what this is. Ignore this. You don't need it. So this is really the shell right here of our data. So now we need to make it look APA. So let's begin with this. Let's highlight everything under our titles. And let's go to table design. And you want to go to borders right over here. It's a table design. After you highlight the part of the table you want to work on within the table, table design, and borders. So you want to remove all interior borders. So all inside borders. So the check mark next to it are highlighted. That means it's being used. So that's what it looks like when you remove all the inside borders. No more inside borders. As you can see, it's no longer check marked or highlighted. Now you want to highlight the entire data set. Now you want to remove your left border, and you want to remove your right border. Now you want to highlight your top right here. Now you want to get rid of the inside borders from there. And then here, just click at the end of standard deviation, click enter, and now you have yourself an APA formatted table. If you want to take these and move these values over using them under home on your document and clicking this, and then you're done. That's a perfect APA formatted table. Only thing you'd have to do now is, let's shuffle it down, is to put a title on it. So let's call it table 1. So that's the title of our table right there. So that is a APA formatted table. And there's a couple different ways of manipulating the inside to make it look like this, but this is the gist of it. So you guys have a good rest of your day now.